Hi, Hazen students. Hey, your school counselors always get the question on a very regular basis, how do I enroll in Running Start? And as you may know, we're not always available at the moment that you're looking for us. So we've created this video to help you get going with that process. So hopefully you find this information helpful. All right, so how do you enroll in Running Start? First, real quick, a couple of reminders about what the Running Start program is. So Running Start is a statewide program that allows students in their 11th and 12th grade years to take classes at a community or technical college. The cost of your tuition is paid by the Running Start program, although you might have other fees specific to the college or the class that you're taking there that you'll still be responsible for. Students can earn both high school and college credits at the same time. One 5-credit college class is equal to a 1.0 high school class. Okay, so you have some decisions to make, whether you choose to do full-time or part-time Running Start. Essentially, full-time Running Start means that you are taking no classes at Hazen High School and you are taking all of your classes through the college. When you are doing this, you can take up to 15 college credits per quarter. If you are a part-time student, that just means that you are taking one or more classes at Hazen and also taking some classes at the college. However, the number of classes you take at Hazen changes the number of credits that you're able to take at the college. Generally, if you haven't completed Algebra 2A and B, you will most likely need to be a part-time student, at least for your first year. That's because the math classes that are offered at the college are generally a level above Algebra 2A and B. Okay, if you are choosing to take some classes at Hazen while being a Running Start student, here is how the credits are limited. If you take one class at Hazen, you can still take up to 15 college credits per quarter. If you have 2 classes at Hazen during a trimester, you can only take up to 12 credits per quarter. If you have 3 classes at Hazen, the most number of credits you can have at the college in that quarter is 10 credits. If you have 4 classes at Hazen, you're eligible for 6 credits at the college. And if you have a full 5-period day schedule at Hazen, the Running Start program will only pay for 3 credits per quarter. Where do most Hazen Running Start students choose to go? Most of our students, about 90% of those students, will choose to go to Bellevue College. About 10%, 10 to 15 percent of those students might choose to go to Renton Technical College. And then we always have a couple of other students who choose other community or technical colleges. The key is you just have to be able to get yourself back and forth to the college that you choose. Okay, steps to enroll in the Running Start program. So one thing I really want to emphasize before you get too tied to this list is that this process really varies by each college. And that's because enrollment in Running Start is not a process that happens at the high school, but a process that first starts with the individual college. And so this is just a general explanation of the basic steps in enrolling in Running Start. But in order to get specific with the college you intend to participate in their Running Start program with, you absolutely must check the college's Running Start website for specific details. Okay, but for now, let's just talk about the general process of enrolling for Running Start. First of all, you enroll with the college. So essentially, you're enrolling as a college student, and whichever process that college uses to enroll in their college will be the process that you need to start with. That's step 1. Step 2 is you'll be submitting a Running Start application at that college. Step 3 will be you completing placement with the college. We're going to talk a little bit more about placement in a bit, but essentially placement simply says that if you place into college level work, you are able to participate in the Running Start program. But how you do placement varies by college. Okay, after you have completed placement with the college, then you're ready to submit a signed Hazen Running Start Participation Agreement form to the Hazen Counseling Office and to schedule a meeting with your counselor. At that meeting, this is step 5 with your counselor, that's when you will meet with your school counselor and together we'll determine if you're going part-time or full-time. And we will also complete something called the Running Start Enrollment Verification Form. This form is actually required every single quarter that you participate in the Running Start program. Once that is signed by both your school counselor and by your parent, then it is the Running Start student's responsibility to submit that signed enrollment verification form to the college Running Start program office. And then once you have completed that step, then you're ready to enroll in courses at the college. Okay, to break those steps down a little bit more, steps 1 and 2, enrolling with the college and applying for Running Start. So again, remember that this process is really particular to each individual college. But just so you have this general information, Bellevue College opens up their fall application pretty early, generally in February. The very first thing you would want to do would be to Google Bellevue College Running Start, get to their website and look for their admission page, which will outline all of their steps. If you're interested in Renton Technical College, generally you don't need to be so quick about the enrollment process. You would be submitting an application for fall beginning May 1st. You can visit the Renton Technical College Running Start website to access the application and to view a checklist. And then if you're thinking about any other community or technical college, the best way to get this information would be to go directly to that college's Running Start page and see what it says about first admission steps. Okay, step 3, that was all about placement. So in any college, regardless of which one you choose to participate in the Running Start program, every student must demonstrate that they can place into college level work. Generally, that means that they must demonstrate that they are able to do English placement. This is an example because Bellevue tends to be the most complicated, so we figured we'd talk about that one first. So at Bellevue College, there are many different ways that you can place into English at least level 101. So in order to place into English 101 at Bellevue College, you can do any one of these 3 things. You can submit a high school transcript, and as long as your current GPA is higher or is at least a 3.0 or higher, you can submit a copy of that to the Bellevue College Testing Services Office, and that will suffice for your English placement. If you don't have a 3.0 GPA or higher, you have a couple of other opportunities to place. If you are a senior, if you're currently a junior applying for enrollment your senior year in the Running Start program, you might already have an SBA score. And for the English SBA score, if you did place a 3 or a 4 on that SBA exam, you can submit those results to the Bellevue College Testing Services Office, and that will allow you to place directly into English 101. If you don't have either of those 2 options, then you will actually need to go into the Testing Services Office at Bellevue College and take a test called the AccuPlacer Assessment. And so you physically have to go onto the Bellevue College campus, find their Testing Services Office, and then take that test to see if you can place into English 101. So again, any one of these 3 things will allow you to place into English. You don't have to do all 3. Okay, so most students will start just by doing the English placement. However, if you are planning to take math or science classes, or at least some science classes at the college, you may also need to do math placement. So there are 3 different ways that you can submit math placement at Bellevue College as well. The first is you can go onto campus, find their Testing Services Office, and take something called the ALEX Assessment for Math Placement. And if you score high enough on that, then you can take math classes at the college. Similarly, if you have a math SBA score of a 3 or a 4, you can submit that to their testing services office for placement. Or if you have taken some upper level math classes already while at Hazen High School, for example, math analysis or calculus, you can actually submit a copy of your high school transcript to the testing services office. And if you received A's or B's, then you may be able to place directly into math classes. But again, you only need to do math placement if you intend to take math courses at the college. If you only intend to take your math class at Hazen, then you don't have to do math placement. You only need to do English placement. One thing to add about placement, of course, is that this was just an example of Bellevue College. And so Renton Technical College placement process is different. So be sure to check with the college's placement process so that you know exactly what you need to do. Okay, so once you've completed placement, you're ready to schedule an appointment to meet with your counselor. At Hazen High School, the way you're going to do that is you are going to go to the counseling office and see a lady named Miss Courtney, and you're going to show her that you have completed placement. Generally, that means that you have a printout of your test score from the testing services office, or you have an email from the college saying that they have confirmed your placement into English 101, and you can show Ms. Courtney that email. Additionally, before she will schedule an appointment for you with your school counselor, you need to submit to her a copy of this Hazen High School Running Start Participation Agreement form. This is something that we want you and your parent or guardian to read through and sign, just so that we know that you and your parent are aware of some of the challenges, really, of being a Running Start student and not being a full-time Hazen student, and some of the limitations of the program. So once you've been able to show Ms. Courtney that you have completed placement and you have submitted a signed Running Start Participation Agreement form to Ms. Courtney in the Hazen Counseling Office, then she will schedule an appointment with you and your school counselor. Okay, step 5 is meeting with your school counselor, because you've done all those other steps in terms of Running Start enrollment and you're finally ready to meet with your school counselor. So things to expect and to bring to your counseling appointment. First of all, after Ms. Courtney schedules that appointment, it's your responsibility to make sure you show up at that appointment. We're not going to be able to send you reminders. So show up at your designated time and date, here's what will happen there. At that appointment, we need you to bring evidence of your placement results. So that could be the email that you have from the college or the testing printout. We also want you to bring along the Running Start enrollment verification form with the student section completed. At this appointment with your school counselor, we'll discuss whether you will be a part-time or a full-time Running Start student. If you choose to be a part-time student, we'll also determine what classes you'll choose to take at Hazen versus what classes you'll choose to take at the college. We will, every time you meet with your school counselor for the Running Start enrollment verification form, we will review your progress toward graduation and we'll identify the courses that you'll need to take at the college to complete your high school diploma. And then the last thing we'll do is sign that verification form together. Okay, a couple of other just important notes we want to share with you. Almost every single college, specifically Bellevue College and Renton Technical College, are offering their own Running Start information sessions. It is really critical that you and a parent or guardian attend one of those Running Start information sessions at the college. That's where they will share information that is very specific to the college you are choosing to participate in the Running Start program in. It's information that your school counselor does not have, because we don't know all the ins and outs about every single college and how the Running Start program works there. So please be sure to attend one of those. Bellevue College is offering multiple opportunities throughout the spring. Here are their dates. You will also be able to find this information just by Googling Bellevue College Running Start and signing up there for one of these information sessions. Renton Technical College is also offering information sessions. Here are their dates and times. They do not require that you pre-register at Renton Technical College for these information sessions, but we strongly encourage you and a parent to attend one so that you can learn more about Renton Technical College and the services and expectations that they have of their Running Start students. Okay, are you still confused about the enrollment process for Running Start? No doubt. It is super complicated. And that's just the way the process is, unfortunately. But if you are confused, here's what you need to do. The very first thing you should do is contact the Running Start office at the college you're applying to. Call them, email them, visit their office in person. Because remember, every enrollment process is different from college to college. And your high school counselor is not going to have all of the answers about the individual college's expectations and their process. So instead of signing up to see your high school counselor and having to wait a few days for us to check in with you about that, change your plan, call the Running Start office at the college and get answers to the questions that you have quickly. All right, last little detail. If you haven't already, please sign up on Instagram for the Hazen Running Start updates, and we will, throughout the year, as you are Running Start program, send you those updates. Okay. Oh, last thing, here it is. If you do need to contact your Hazen school counselor, here's our contact information. Generally, I would say that emailing us your question is probably going to be the fastest way that we will be able to respond to you. You're also welcome to drop in and speak with Miss Courtney, as she has many of the forms that we have mentioned about this process. All right, get to work.